In Denmark, we have a saying, lad falde, hvad ikke kan stå. It roughly translates into, let that fall, which cannot stand. You'll see a lot of similarities across the Nordic nations when it comes to this proverb, but the central idea to the proverb is always, don't cling to the broken, and it is pointless to support what doesn't hold. What this means is simple but profound. It is pointless to keep propping up something that can't hold itself up. You'll waste far more time and energy trying to support it than just accepting defeat and starting anew. When it comes to roses, you often face this exact choice. You can either throw out the unhealthy rose, or you can enter into an endless battle, spraying every 14 days to keep it healthy. Now let's talk about those sprays. They are not harmless. Many sprays sold in the 1990s are now banned because they were carcinogenic or disrupted human hormones or even human fertility. Going further back, Victorian Rosarians used arsenic and other mineral dusts, and they had a chilling name for the tool they used to spray it with. The tool itself was essentially a bicycle pump with this chamber at the front end where they will put these different mineral dusts, and then they will pump it by moving the shaft, and it will shoot out like the blowing wind from a bicycle pump. But the tool they used, they had a nickname for, and they called it the Widowmaker. And why did they call it the Widowmaker? Well, it was because many gardeners who used these tools didn't live past their 30s, and they all left behind widows. Today's copper and sulfur sprays are less deadly than the arsenic, but they still come with a lot of risks. Copper, for instance, is toxic not just to fungi, but to all life it touches. It doesn't discriminate. It kills the harmful fungi, but it also kills the beneficial fungi and earthworms in your soil, slowly destroying your garden's microbiome. It also accumulates in the soil, disrupting the uptake of key nutrients like zinc, iron, and phosphorus for your roses. On top of that, copper can act as an immune suppressant in humans and is also linked to chronic bronchitis. Spraying is not just harmful to plants, but to human lungs as well. Gardeners have a higher incidence of bronchitis and lung problems compared to the general population because of repeated exposure to these sprays. Many fungicides have even been recalled for being carcinogenic or interfering with water-living organisms, hormone systems, or human fertility, and a lot of other things. Beyond human health, the impact on soil is serious. Copper builds up in the ground, harming beneficial fungi and earthworms. Sulfur can acidify the soil over time, making it harder for plants to absorb nutrients. So in many ways, spraying your roses is not a free lunch. There's consequences for your own health if you don't use a lot of protective gear. There's consequences for the organisms living in your soil and also for the long-term health of your roses in that soil if you keep consequently spraying. So here's what I believe. You have to make a choice. You can go with the sprays. You will have a lot of more healthy foliage on your plant, and your plants will really like that. But you might also end up damaging the roots on your plants long term. You might end up damaging also your own health long term. You for certain have to use a lot of protective equipment, and you have to take your precautions. And I think you have to make up your own mind what the right course of action is for you. Because there is a consequence to what you choose. If you choose to spray, you can grow far many more roses. You can have greater variety, and you'll have prettier roses. But as I have also mentioned, it does come with a cost. It comes with the cost to the long-term health of the soil, and maybe even also to the long-term health of your own lungs. So this is a decision you'll have to make for yourself. I'm not saying there's anything correct, anything wrong, but it is a trade-off, and I'm only providing the information, so you can make that trade-off for yourself. Like I said, there is some wisdom in the Danish proverb, let fall what cannot stand. When you simply stop growing unhealthy plants, you free up a lot of your time, and you can start focusing on more healthy plants, which are quicker to establish. There's of course also some wisdom in keeping your plants and preserving them. For example, if every one of us stopped growing unhealthy varieties, these varieties would quickly die out, and a lot of traits would be lost in those varieties. So there's something to be said for keeping old historic varieties alive, even though they're sometimes troublesome. So I'm not saying there's a perfect solution here. I'm only saying that I wanted to give you more information so you can make an informed choice what is right for your garden. In my opinion, you're often best off going with a sort of balance. Often there's what Buddha called the golden mean, or the middle way. And in my opinion, I tend to throw out the most unhealthy roses. I tend to sometimes treat with spraying if it is an acute case on a rose I've never seen been unhealthy before. But that is really a choice you will have to make for yourself. I often believe in the concept of looking at gardening as a more holistic thing, looking at the whole. And one thing I've really learned about growing a lot of plants is you're always better off betting on the microbiome and the healthy soil and keeping your roses healthy the natural way, in the long run at least. But I'm not saying that fungicides, herbicides, and pesticides and all these other different things don't have a role to play, because they really do. And I still think there's a function for them. Just take when you want to create cutlings of your roses. It is very hard to do without fungicides. Lucky though, there are a lot of natural fungicides that are actually pretty good. But of course, there'll never be a replacement for industrial strength fungicides. So you really have to make up your own mind about this. I just thought I wanted to inform people that you might want to take your precautions for your own lung health when spraying, and maybe also not go overboard with these sprays, because they do tend to harm the soil long term. So find your own balance, find what is right for your garden. I'm not really taking a stance in this, but I'm always a firm believer in a more holistic approach to everything. And I also tend to believe in essentialism. That is why you often see me throwing more roses out, because I really want to get to the essential roses, the healthy roses, the really fragrant roses, and the prolific bloomers. So often I see the more unhealthy roses as being a spot, I could plant something better, and that is really one of the essential lessons of essentialism. And the other lesson I often tell people is to focus on soil, focus on fertilizing, focus on keeping your roses naturally happy, and that is more the holistic approach. But what is correct for your garden, only you can decide. Your climate is different, and maybe even the rootstock your plants are on is different from mine. So, what I'm really trying to teach you is this open mindset of trying to see what works for you, and teaching you some basic principles to what you should be careful of and to what could work for you. And then I'm just going to leave you to make your own choices as always. I don't really believe I should preach too much, but I do believe in raising some fair points, and I do believe that there are points to be raised both for and against spraying. That is what I'm doing in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed me talking about it, and take care out there, guys.